Welcome to a Blicino video. Now, I haven't posted a video like this in a minute, and quite honestly, I don't have an excuse this time. I've just been demotivated, but I've been watching these playoffs, and oh my gosh, has it been so entertaining. It has been, ups and downs. Like, in the East, it is total BS. There's so many injuries, it's just hard to watch. But in the West, it's like this glorious set of skills being on display, and I love it, man. I think it's what we need, the West at least. The East, it's phony. The Celtics got to the finals through phoniness, and I'm about to prove that right now. How am I going to prove that, you might ask? Well, I'm just going to break down what has happened this playoffs for those who haven't been able to pay attention. You see, I work two jobs, but one's overnight and one's early in the morning. So I can focus on the games. And I have been, because my team, unfortunately, had to go through the play-in tournament, my team being the Heat, and in the second game of the play-in tournament, our star player, Jimmy Buckets, himmy in the playoffs, it went down. He had an MCL sprain, and there was no recovering from that. He would have been able to play in the second series. We didn't make it that far. It was kind of over before it started. So I transitioned teams. I went to one of my favorite players, Kyrie Irving, and the Mavericks story. And holy cow, has it been immaculate. It's so beautiful to watch these two, him and Luka, come together, play so great off of each other, but also getting the others involved, such as PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., Derek Lively, Gafford, Dante Exum. But holy cow, have they been just on a tear, on a total run. Let's break down the series, shall we, from start to finish. I'm not going to talk about the play-ins, just the teams that made it. So, out east, we have the Boston Celtics beat the Heat without Scary Terry, who was an ex-Celtic, so it would have been big to have him, and Jimmy Butler, our star. Respectfully, they beat us in 5. It was a gentleman's sweep, and we got the second game, even without them. Alright, then transitioning to Cavs and Magic. This should not have been a 7-game series. On paper, the Cavs are such a better team, but Jared Allen went down, so without Jared Allen, it was kind of difficult, and it went to 7 games, and I love what I saw from Paolo and Franz, and I think Orlando's going to be even stronger next year. But the Cavaliers, they pulled it off. They beat them. Donovan Mitchell did his thing, did a lot of ISO runs. Garland picked up the pace at the end. To the next series, we had Pacers and Bucks. This was a fluke. The Bucks are so much better. Giannis, Dame, and Middleton alone could beat the whole Pacers. But the Pacers took out 2 of those guys. They took out Giannis and they took out Dame. I don't know the injuries, but I know they weren't playing on that last game. Middleton had to muscle up by himself, and I think he went down at the end. Just sad. So the Pacers got by exploiting the rules and exploiting the refs. Knicks and 76ers. So the Knicks, they were going into this without Julius Randle, and I think OG, if I'm not wrong, he might have been there, but they didn't have a full team, and the 76ers had not a fully healthy Embiid. He was probably 70 to 60% himself, and geez, did he look so sluggish out there. Like, compare that to his highlights at the start of the season. Holy cow, he was just playing like a shell of himself, and the Knicks pulled it off even though they weren't fully healthy. Now let's go out west. We have OKC beating the Pelicans with no Zion. Minnesota sweeping the Suns. KD and Devin got just outmatched. Nuggets and Lakers. The Nuggets beat the Lakers, but I forget how many games it was in. That was a fun series to watch, but the Nuggets pulled it off. The Mavs and Clippers without Kawhi. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard would have helped. I think he played 1 or 2 games, but they lost those games anyways. The Mavs, man, let's get into it. They are just whooping ass out here, okay? They beat Paul George, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Zubac. I mean, that's pretty good. They beat them, I think, 5 series. Yeah, I think it was a gentleman's sweep. Alright, next round we have Boston versus the Cavaliers. And in this series, Spider went down. No Donovan Mitchell means no way they can win on how they've been playing this year. On top of Jared Allen already missing out. So Boston subsequently won that one. And then we have the Pacers beating the Knicks. Now this is the biggest fluke of them all. Yeah, despite them beating Giannis and Dame last series, the Pacers go on to beat the Knicks, missing 5 players, 4 of those being starters. Those 4 starters being OG, Randall, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Bogdanovich off the bench, and then in the last game, Jalen Brunson goes down with a fractured hand on his shooting hand. Just terrible. Next round out west, Mavs and OKC, the first seed versus my new team, and we just totally outclassed their front court. I mean, their back court. Luka and Kyrie, they were so much better than that weirdo Giddey and Shea, who somehow was second above Luka in the MVP race, which is just a fluke in itself because Luka had a 73-point game against the person he was traded for in the draft, Trae Young, and then he was averaging a triple-double pretty much, and he led this league in scoring. I mean, what more do you need from the man to be the MVP? And they destroyed OKC's backcourt and frontcourt. Honestly, Chet could not hang with Gafford, the big blue dog. He's a dog out there, okay? Then we have Wolves outclassing the Nuggets. No, I think Rudy Gobert and Cat won them those games because Joker was so worn out on both ends of the court that it was just like, what are you doing out there? I thought you were supposed to be the 3-time MVP, right? But you can't take out Rudy and Cat. So how good are you? I mean, come on. Because we're up 3-0. The Mavs are up 3-0 right now in the next series. Alright? It's never been done by any team. So I don't think it will be done. I'm going to call it now that we're sweeping them tonight. And once it ends, Kyrie's going to go on a tear and get revenge on the Boston Celtics. With or without Porzingis, we're beating them. Okay, we're not scared of Porzingis. We traded you there for a reason. We don't want you. I think we traded you to the Washington Wizards. But we don't want you, okay? And we're not scared with or without you. The Celtics and those racist fans are getting demolished. Okay, Kyrie is going off for 40. Luka is going off for 70. I want fear in your hearts because they are on the way. And with that being said, I'm going to have a basketball video posted later today or tomorrow. Alright? Tune into that. Tune into my page. Leave a like. Share to somebody just to be like, here's a new phase. Go follow them. And yeah, man, Blissino out. Peace.